Hey there dancers, it's Kirsten and welcome back to Twin Talks Ballet. Today I'm very glad that you clicked on this video because I'm going to talk about what it means to be a smart dancer, why that's important, and how you can actually start to be a smart dancer, because it is my belief that none of us are just born smart dancers or not. Yes, some of us have different capacities for certain levels of intelligence. I believe intelligence is kind of measured on a spectrum and it has different categories of how we can be perceived as intelligent. But my point is, I do believe that these skills I'm going to share with you that make us kind of come off as if we are smart dancers, they can be developed. And I also want to say, before I get into these points, if you are to listen to this video, watch this video, and start to implement these suggestions yourself, I want to say you are not faking your intelligence. You're not pretending to be intelligent. You are actually just increasing your capacity to, think critically, and this is genuine. You are actually becoming a smart dancer. So just want to say that because I do know that the fake it till you make it mentality is very prevalent in the ballet world. And I want you guys to just know that if you take these things I'm going to share with you today that I learned from experience in the ballet world myself through observation and personal practice, I know that this will take you further in your careers and lead you to be a more confident dancer. So without further ado, let's get into the point, shall we? First, what does it mean, in my opinion, to be a smart dancer? I know that this term is thrown around a lot, and it's kind of, we're kind of told to be smart dancers, kind of also like we're told to be confident, but there's not really any sort of guidance necessarily on how to do such things, so that's what this channel is all about. In my opinion, to be a smart dancer means to show individual comprehension of what is being asked of you and having the ability to use critical thinking skills to lead your own behaviors in a way that allows you to improve independently and to also further the objectives of the larger group that you're a part of. This could be a corps de ballet, ballet company, ballet school, what have you. So often as dancers, we do work in groups, and even if you are working individually or taking class for yourself, oftentimes dancers that are considered to be smart dancers are kind of leaders in their group. They do show independent thought and initiative in a way that inspires the dancers around them. This is generally seen as good and admirable, I think for good reason. I want to just talk about why it is really so important to be perceived as a smart dancer in the ballet world. If you are a dancer who has all the physical potential in the world, but you clearly show that you are not thinking independently to try to be your own best teacher, if you're not holding yourself accountable to take some concepts that you know and then do more with that, you're going to be seen as needing a lot of work in hand-holding from your teachers or directors in order to improve. Opportunities are things that you need to grow into. So what does that require? Trust and perceived potential. Not only physical potential, but the potential to handle that opportunity without needing so much work and constant reminders of do this, do that, apply this correction, remember this, I already told you this. Nobody, no teacher, no director, no matter how much they care about you personally, they don't have the time to just focus on you if you're not demonstrating having a mind of your own. So that's where I've seen dancers who are very physically talented be perceived as way too much work because they're not showing that they are smart, that they're thinking independently, that they're seeing patterns, implementing corrections, thinking ahead to what they might be asked to do. They're not holding themselves accountable, they're waiting to be told. That all demonstrates that you're not thinking for yourself, which by nature indicates to the teacher that they are going to have to go above and beyond to pull you up rather than giving you an opportunity, trusting that you'll rise to it. Now I'm going to share with you 10 factors that if you implement these suggestions, these factors will help you to be perceived as a smart dancer. Hey friends, I want to briefly pause this video to thank our generous sponsor of today's video and many others on this channel, which is balletok.com. I'm so grateful for their ongoing support, and I want to let you know how you can support the sponsor that keeps this channel going so that I can continue to provide free content for you dancers out there. The way you can support them is by buying Zerly tights. through the balletok.com website. I personally love Zerly tights. They are truly my favorite brand. They're soft, they're sleek, they're flattering, they're durable, and I love that the compression technology in these tights is truly unmatched by any other brand, and it genuinely makes a difference in how fast your legs recover between ballet classes. I notice a difference not only as I dance in these tights, but when I teach, when I'm standing around a lot in the studio. I do notice that my legs feel better when I wear my Zerly tights. So go check out Zerly tights through balletok.com, and additionally you can participate in balletok.com's tights recycling program, which I have recently done. All you have to do is go to their website, email them info@balletok.com, and ask for a free shipping label. They'll send it to you, put your tights in the mail, and what you get in return is a discount on your future orders of Zerly tights through balletok.com. Speaking of discounts, I have a discount code for you down below in the description. So what are you waiting for? Go try these tights. You will not regret it. And thank you again, balletok.com, for sponsoring this video. The first factor that goes into being perceived as a smart dancer, which is not going to come as a surprise at all, I'm sure, is the ability to learn choreography quickly and retain it. So I have already made an in-depth video about how to do this, how to understand your learning style and optimize your ability to learn quickly. I think it's just a mental skill that we can all learn. It's not, again, something that you inherently have or you don't forever. So I will link this video in the cards. I think I point this way. I'm trying to learn. The second factor that goes into being perceived as a smart dancer is being able to consistently think ahead, to predetermine what will likely be expected of you, and to just show initiative in doing that thing. This could, for example, mean remembering what has been told to you by a teacher in past classes and continuing to hold on to that so that they don't have to tell you again. You demonstrate that you've been changed by the correction, you've applied it, and so they no longer have to tell you. Or even to think ahead from what a previous teacher has told you, and you might think, okay, it's a really nice thing to travel a little bit more or travel to the max capacity in Grand Allegro. So rather than waiting for someone to tell me, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And if they think it's too much, they'll tell me. Kind of a second point to the second point is it's really important to demonstrate that you consistently do everything that you can to the best of your abilities for that day. Does that mean you are perfect 100% of the time? No, but you really can see when a dancer is really giving a step their all and doing the best they can, practicing again until they get it right. You know, you can see that work ethic and that determination, and that is very trust building. It shows that you have, you're holding yourself accountable, you are being your own best teacher, as I always like to say. You're doing your best, so the teacher, again, is freed to then give you new corrections or to kind of leave you be and focus on some other dancers that might need a little bit more help. It really shows personal initiative, and it transmits a lot of trust between you and the teacher. The third thing is it's very important to demonstrate comprehension of corrections, technical concepts, whatever it is. It's very important to not only understand what the teacher is saying inwardly, but to show that you understand. Again, this is all about perception and trust building, honestly. So if a teacher gives you a correction and you're like, yeah, I get what you're saying, and you hardly even nod your head, you don't practice, you can really think, yeah, I get that, I'll do it next time. But believe me, as a ballet teacher myself, what that communicates to me is laziness or even pridefulness sometimes, like, oh, they really think they're just good. They really think they just understand. I mean, clearly there's a reason why I, as a teacher, go out on a limb to say something. I would honestly much rather just get on with class, but I only share what I think is helpful. And when a student kind of just is like, okay, you know, instead of demonstrating that they have received the correction, they understand, and they are actively implementing it, it kind of leaves a question in my head as a teacher, like, do they understand? If they don't process that verbal correction kinesthetically, it's probably not going to stick with them at all. So how to demonstrate comprehension? First is to actually practice immediately what the teacher asked of you so that you demonstrate that you can do it, you understand, even if it takes a couple tries, that's okay. I am much happier to see a dancer who just tries and then I can help them further rather than just everyone being like, yeah, I'm good, or worrying what I'm gonna see. I'm giving the correction to help. So it's really important to immediately put it into practice. The second thing is body language is really important. Listen with your eyes and to demonstrate in your facial expression, in your body language, in your eye contact that yes, you have received it, yes, you understand. Standing up straight, having that confident body posture, and really looking at me while I talk, while I demonstrate. And the student can then look focused with their eyes. We all know that facial expression of like focused, you're there, you're not like staring off somewhere else, you're not totally vacant, you know? Looking engaged in your body language also goes a really long way. And, you know, in the South, I live in Texas, it's really cute when dancers say like, yes, ma'am. We can say a verbal yes, that actually is helpful, especially with older dancers. I think it's perfectly acceptable to say yes when a teacher says, does that make sense? And over time, you can actually build trust with your teacher that they know that you've demonstrated enough times that you will get a correction, you will practice it, you get it. A teacher will be more inclined to just automatically trust that you understand. Number 4, in order to be perceived as a smart dancer, it is really important to learn how to ask good questions. Teachers will know that if a student consistently asks questions, the student can be trusted to say something if they don't understand a concept, or to ask a question that points out something that the teacher actually didn't explain. These are actually really, really helpful in showing to your teacher that you can be trusted to actually be honest and ask if you don't understand something. When a student asks, okay, you showed this on the first time you showed it, but then the second time you showed this arm. And so that shows the student was paying attention, and when they ask, which one would you like? It shows that they care about paying attention to detail, and I can also trust them to consistently pay close enough attention to point out when greater clarity is needed. There's usually 1 or 2 students in a class that might not even just ask for themselves, but I think it's also really great when a student isn't afraid to ask questions because they see that their peers are confused. I think this can be scary to a lot of dancers just getting used to actually speaking in ballet class, but it is so awesome and it really does show maturity and that the teacher can trust you. What I would qualify to be a good question, by the way, is one that does not actually point out that you were just not paying attention. So an example of this is maybe I have said something like, I want this arm to go up on a specific count. I've said it twice, or I said it once with a lot of emphasis. I said, make sure to get this right. And a dancer just goes, what's the arm on count 5? Right away, it shows that they were not paying attention, and it's just not good. So if you do genuinely have a human moment where you kind of blink and you know that the teacher said this is important, but you had a moment where you weren't focused, you just don't remember, it is, in my opinion, perfectly okay to say, I'm sorry, I know that you mentioned this, I'm pretty sure you said it was really important. Just to make sure I have it correctly, could you show that arm on count 5 again? So it demonstrates that they are aware that I said something was important, that they want to get it right, and that they just want to double check. That is a way of turning kind of like a, oh no, I wasn't paying attention moment into a good question. But also I will say that if you know for a fact that the teacher or choreographer was just extremely vague about something, or they just didn't mention something that they'll probably expect you to do later, you could just ask a question. You don't need to have a disclaimer. You could just say, what's the arm on count 5? Rather than being like, I don't know, maybe you showed this. You know, be confident about it. If you know they didn't show it, you could just ask. Point number 5 is that smart dancers really learn to be problem solvers and people who can pick out patterns in choreography or in class steps. The ability to perceive patterns really is a fantastic learning tool. I think I did talk about this in the How to Learn Choreography Quickly video, but it's really important to be looking for patterns, for similarities, dissimilarities, and that can actually really help you to learn much faster, but also to have that mindset of problem solving. Okay, like always asking yourself, okay, what needs to happen instead of just, oh, I need to be on the other side of the stage in 4 counts. Thinking ahead to what problems might be present in that. Like maybe you're traveling this way and a bunch of other dancers are traveling this way. Thinking ahead to, okay, there's a potential that I might run into them. So I'm going to look out and just think ahead, problem solve before it actually happens to be able to accomplish the mission. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this video so far. Sorry to interrupt, but I had a lot of ideas I wanted to share in this video, and instead of just cutting the value and saying I'd rather just have one short video, I decided to make 2 shorter videos. So this video you're watching, if you're enjoying it, there will be a part 2 with my final 5 points on how to be a smart dancer. So make sure you are subscribed and you've hit the notification bell to be alerted when that part 2 video comes out. It will be out in a few days. And then additionally, if you're watching this in the future after this video has been posted and the next video is up, you can find the link in the description box in addition to the card here, excuse me, there. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.